Calico raised his head and stumbled over to them. He burped and raised his hand to his mouth. "Are you okay?" Leanne asked. "You look kinda green." "It's the green stuff in there." Calico managed a crooked smile as he pointed to the punch bowl. "The dye is coming through my skin." "That's Hawaiian punch," Leanne said. "It's punched him out," Holt said. "He's done." "He could pass out on the couch in the den," Leanne said. "No." Calico raised a shaky hand. "And I gotta get Holt home before he gets in trouble on his curfew. Thanks for the invite. I'll give you a call tomorrow after I come back to Earth." Leanne grabbed Holt's arm and pulled him down to her level so she could whisper in his ear, "You stay and let him go. I'll take you home after everybody is gone." A two-sport athlete, Holt was in great physical shape, but his knees suddenly felt weak. It took all his loyalty to Calico, forged over a decade of friendship, to shake his head. "No, we came together." "Your loss," Leanne said as she let go of his arm. "What was Leanne saying to you?" Calico asked as they walked up the long driveway. "Nothing," Holt snapped. "Why couldn't you stay away from that punch bowl?" "It happens. Hey, who took care of you when you were almost unconscious the night of the beer bash at Tony's house?" "I learned my lesson. And this is mine." Holt grunted. They reached the back of a shiny white convertible. Calico held out his hand. "Dude, I'm doing way better. I made it up the driveway without crashing on my face. Give me the keys." "Are you sure?" "Yeah." Holt hesitated, then handed over the key ring. Once in the car, he watched as Calico unsuccessfully tried to insert the key into the ignition switch. After the third attempt, Holt reached over and grabbed the keys. "That's it. I'm taking over. If you can't start the engine, you can't drive. You'll get both of us killed." Calico mumbled something unintelligible as they passed each other near the rear bumper. "Put the top down," Calico said as soon as they were back in the vehicle. "I need tons of fresh air or I'm going to throw up again." Holt released the latch that secured the ragtop. "Where's the button for the roof motor?" he asked. "There." Calico pointed at the console. Holt found the button and pressed it. The roof slowly lifted up and peeled back into an opening behind the rear seat. "That's way better," Calico said as he closed his eyes and rested his head against the seat. A diagram beside the shifter showed Holt where the stick needed to be if he wanted to put the car in reverse. Calico opened his eyes and stared upward. "Can you see any stars?" Holt glanced up. They were far enough from the house that the night sky had unfurled above them. "Yeah." "Holt, I'm not going to medical school." "Good idea. They don't want drunks operating on people." "I'm serious." In spite of his silly nickname, Calico was a straight-A student and had a full scholarship to Vanderbilt in the fall. For 2 years, he'd had his whole life mapped out: chemistry major, medical school, and so on. "Why not?" "I haven't told my parents," Calico continued, gazing up at the sky. "I'm going to major in English and go to law school. Do you remember my Uncle Frank who came to visit last month?" Holt had met the stocky man in his 50s with a prominent jaw, bushy gray eyebrows, and piercing dark eyes. "Yeah." "He's been a federal prosecutor for years. Listening to his stories sounded way better than having sick kids cough in my face. My father doesn't think so, but you don't have to be a doctor to make your life count for something. The money government lawyers make isn't that great, but it's all I've been thinking about since he left." Calico paused, along with Leanne. "You're drunk." Calico closed his eyes. "Yeah, but not the smart part of me." Holt pushed in the clutch and started the engine. Taking a deep breath, he tried to force the shifter in the proper direction. The gears grated and ground in protest. Holt had operated a riding lawnmower with the clutch, but it was much more forgiving than the high-powered car. "Gun it," Calico said, his eyes still shut. "Oh, and keep mashing in the clutch or we'll run into Mark's truck." Holt pressed down on the gas pedal until the engine roared. The shifter grudgingly slid into place. Holt slowly let out the clutch as he pressed down on the accelerator. The car lurched backward, and he quickly applied the brake to avoid hitting a car parked behind them. The engine died. Calico turned his head toward Holt. "Dude,